This is a quick guide for Destruction Warlock in the War Within. So starting off then, we've got our new juicy exciting set bonus in Season 1, Rites of the Hexflame Coven. Incinerate critical strike damage is increased and Conflagrate crit strike chance is increased by 25%. When Conflagrate critically strikes, your fire damage is increased for 6 seconds. We're starting off with the Mythic Plus and Dungeon rotation here. So keep up your Immolate at all times. Keep that debuff up on the target at all times. We are going with, in Mythic Plus, the Diabolist talents, which is much better for AoE. We're going to be summoning huge pit lords, etc., which are going to be changing a few of our spells up. Notably, our Chaos Bolt and Soulfire will change. If you see your Chaos Bolt change into a Ruination, it'll look like this. See, it says there, the little big green meteor. If you see your Chaos Bolt turn into that, we're going to use it here at this point in the rotation, or if we get any procs on our Chaos Bolt. We're then going to not cap on Soul Shards by using Shadow Burn or Chaos Bolt, depending on if we've got stacks of Shadow Burn or not. And then, if you see your Incinerate turn, it'll completely turn into Infernal Bolt, as you can see here. Then we're going to use this one here, only if it turns into Infernal Bolt. We're going to use our Conflagrate to keep up our Roaring Blaze debuff on the target. And then if we get a proc on our Soulfire, we're going to use that here. We're then going to use Shadow Burn. And there you go. There's the Infernal Bolt, by the way, that I was talking about. So you can see that proc there. And there's the proc on Soulfire that I was talking about. Use that here. We're then going to use Shadow Burn and Chaos Bolt to keep up something called Eradication on our target. And that is this here. Chaos Bolt and Shadow Burn increase the damage you deal to your target by 5% for 7 seconds. And there is Ruination that I was talking about with the Pit Lord. Oh, he just saw a glimpse of him there. So we can use Ruination at number 2. It's a huge meteor rather than Chaos Bolt. So that's when we use that. Then if you have Soulfire available, because it hasn't procced and you've gotten this far down in your priority list, use it here. Then otherwise, just use any remaining Conflagrates and then Incinerate is your filler. So to go through that again, keep up Immolate at all times. Use Chaos Bolt if it's turned into Ruination here. Use Shadow Burn and Chaos Bolt to spend any excess Soul Shards. Use Incinerate if it has procced. Use Conflagrate to keep up the debuff. Use Soulfire if it procs. Use Shadow Burn and Chaos Bolt here to keep up Eradication on the target. And then if you still have Soulfire, use it here. Any remaining stacks of Conflagrate, use it here. And then use Incinerate as a filler. And that pretty much is the Mythic Plus priority list. The only other thing is using your Summon Infernal to do a ton of damage. And you're going to use this pretty much here in the opener. And then every 2 minutes when it comes off cooldown. For the raid talents here, we're actually going with Hellcaller rather than Diabolist, and a few talents are changing, and so will the rotation a little bit because we're changing hero talents. So rather than Immolate, we've actually got Wither, so you're going to keep Wither up on your target at all times. And then we're going to use our Shadow Burn and Chaos Bolt again to not cap on Soul Shards. Keep up Conflagrate to keep up the buff from Roaring Blaze, just as we did in the Mythic Plus rotation. Again, only using Soulfire here if it procs. Keeping up or using Shadow Burn and Chaos Bolt to keep up Eradication, either one, here. Using any procs, of course, on Chaos Bolt there. Eradication, where you increase damage. That's where you're going to use these. And then again, if you haven't used Soulfire because there's no procs and you're this far down on the priority list, you can use it here, using any remaining Conflagrates and then Incinerate as the filler. So it's basically a simplistic version of the Mythic Plus rotation. And again, once you've used your first 3 spells, then use your Summon Infernal and then your Malevolence, which is a new cooldown we get with the Hellcaller hero talents, where basically dark magic erupts from you, corrupting your soul, causing enemies suffering from your Wither to take damage and increase its stat count by 6. While corrupted, your haste is increased, and spending Soul Shards will also grant an extra stack of Wither. So that's the only differences in the raid rotation. It's just a bit simpler. If you have watched this video and you're like, do you know what? This was actually a bit too quick for me, and I want some more in-depth, or I'm a bit more of a beginner and I don't know some of the terms used in here, what I would recommend is in the pinned comment of this video and in the description is my other channel for my Destruction Warlock guide, and that is a much more in-depth guide for you. All talent builds are in the description as well, as is my Patreon, where you can get loads of macros for the War Within for each spec. and also LVI profiles that I've put together. But yes, if this was too quick for you and you'd like to watch something a lot more in-depth and learn it, you know, you're ready to take on the next step, do click that video in the description and the pinned comment, as that is my full in-depth guide for Destruction Warlock. If you're looking for other quick guide videos for the War Within launch in Season 1, then check out this playlist here, as I've done them all for you, PvE and PvP.